just before the report comes out. So again, we know the report is due out today, Tuesday, 16th of November. We know we have Consumer Price Index from Britain at 9:30. That's of high importance. And you also got Core Consumer Price Index. So all that comes out at 9:30, which will obviously have an impact, especially on the pound dollar. Then at 10, we have a whole raft of reports coming out of medium importance from the Eurozone Consumer Price Index and economic sentiment. So that will probably have an impact on the Euro-US dollar. And not to forget, at 1:30, we have the US Producer Price Index, which is of medium importance, and the ex-food and energy report. And at 2 o'clock, the long-term TIC flows, and at 2:15, the industrial production from US. So quite a lot of reports coming out. But the first one of major importance is in a couple of minutes' time. And as we know, the market tends to trend sideways prior to a report of high importance coming out. And if we take into account the various reports coming out, you certainly need to be careful in how you place your trades today. And certainly you don't want to be over trading. So for the Euro-US dollar, we're going to sell just below the low point of the market. We're going to buy just above the pivot point. And let me delete all that one. So we'll stick with this point of entry for the meantime. For 9:30, we'll buy just above the pivot point, sell just below the low of the day for the Euro-US dollar. And then for the pound dollar, we'll buy 2 points above the pivot point and sell 2 points below the first support. So that's our potential trading point. So we'll see what happens at 9:30. So we have to remember there are quite a few reports coming out today. So we want to be quite frugal with our attempts at the market. Okay, it's 9:30. You can see the market taking off. Like I say, obviously it has more of an impact on the pound dollar, the report, because it's a British report. Let's see the Euro-US dollar. So you can see there hasn't been much of an impact on the Euro-US dollar. Probably 10 o'clock, we'll see. But obviously for the pound dollar, like I said, the report is of more significance for the pound dollar. So we'll see what happens. So we'll see what happens. Still dancing around. Of course, as you well know that, in the next 5 minutes, it could just change direction. So the fact you've got this huge green bar, there's no guarantee it's going to keep going up. But we'll see. So far so good. So you can see that the Euro-US dollar hasn't moved much. Again, that's because it's more of a British report, and we'll find more of a move in the market for the Euro-US dollar probably at 10 o'clock when the Europe reports come out. But obviously, this is a British report, so that's why there's more of an impact on the pound dollar than on the Euro-US dollar. So market has taken us in. Obviously, that will kick in a stop loss of 20 points, so that's 16,060. So we've got 20-point stop loss in place. So we'll see what happens to that trade. Obviously, the first target we're looking at is halfway towards our target. So our target is 60 points, so we're looking to move our stop to the opening level once the market moves about 30 points, which would be 1610. Any questions while we wait for the market to either go in our direction or take us out and take our stop loss? So again, we've decided our entry strategy, which is to buy just above the pivot point, and our exit strategy is a 20-point stop loss and 60-point limit. So 60 points will be up there, 16,140. So that's our profit target, 60 points away. We'll give it another couple of minutes. And we'll see if the market is still bullish after 5 minutes. Like I say, it could just change direction all of a sudden. The market has a mind of its own and will do what it jolly well pleases. So again, that's why you have your stop losses in place in case it decides to change direction. Stop loss is there to give it enough wiggle room, but not too much wiggle room where you lose too much money. So we've got 20 points stop to risk 20 points. And I always say, well, this is my own trading plan, not give the market more than 20 points wiggle room and not risk more than 20 points. And I'm happy to risk those 20 points until it gets halfway towards the target, and at that point move the stop loss. And again, this is where your money management comes in. So if you're risking an appropriate size contract for your capital, then you don't have to be concerned or worried. Yes, if you have your whole life savings on the line, then yes, you're going to be sweating with every point move on the market. But if you're risking the appropriate size contract in relation to your capital, then you're happy to wait, see what happens, give the market enough time and room, and not be in a hurry to move your stop, because you're happy to risk those 20 points until it gets halfway towards your target. We're going to meet again at 12 midday, and then we'll see what's happened to the market at that time. But like I said earlier, you can still plan ahead. But obviously, you have to remember there are quite a few reports that are due out later. So if this turns out to be a losing trade, you then have to ask yourself whether it's wise to place another buy order just above the pivot point in view of the fact we've got more reports coming out at 10, 130, 2, and 215. So with that in mind, you then have to decide if you lose out on this trade whether to use the pivot point again or to go for the more conservative approach and go for the first resistance. Obviously, you can still use the first support to sell because that's quite far away from the market. And for the Euro-US dollar, well, it's still trending sideways, so that hasn't moved much. But like I said, I suspect that's waiting for a direction in the market at 10 when the reports come out from the Eurozone. So when the reports come out from the Eurozone, that might give the Euro-US dollar some direction in the market. So that's the pound dollar and the euro dollar. So we'll see what happens to that trade. And like I said, we'll meet